Hello, I'm Andy Allen from Wedding Trader, and I am conducting an interview this morning with Peta Hunt. Many of you will know her from You and Your Wedding. She was the editor-at-large there for 20 plus years. She's now creating the Instagram account for Hitched Fashion and Styling. So we're going to talk a little bit today about Instagram, styling shoots, when you post, what's like the reason behind that, and what's working and what's not working. So I'd like to welcome Peta Hunt. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
You're welcome. No problem at all. Please don't think I'm an expert in this area. I think there's a lot of serendipity involved in this. Yeah. All I know is that I work on Hitched Fashion and Styling. Yeah. I post. Some things are really liked and some things aren't. Yeah. And I don't honestly know why. It's not an algorithm thing, I don't think sometimes, although when they change it, chaos breaks out. I think you can decide when to repost, but in a way, I post quite a lot because I think brides-to-be are looking for stuff. They're kind of frantic still. They go to Pinterest, they create their boards, but they want to feed this kind of wedding beast still. Yeah. So one of the things I think is quite interesting is that if you post a real wedding on there, people like that. People like that, but I'm not sure how much use it is because they're often dresses from the past. Our job, I think, is to drive people to retailers, yeah, to make them aware of new trends. But then if you post catwalk pictures from various shows, when we used to have shows in the olden days, when I'd sit on a chair and watch hours and hours of shows, which I hope will come back because I really miss that interaction and actually seeing dresses move. When that comes back, posting pictures, I don't think people just want to see pictures on models. However, I don't think they necessarily respond well to pictures of real women in dresses in shops. I think it was a novelty to start with, which people were doing when COVID first kicked in, but I think people want a bit more now. I think we need to be shown we're experts.
So regards to the work that you're doing with Hitched at the moment, and the styling of Instagram posts, what can you tell us a little bit about what kind of things you're working on at the moment and what kind of things are working for you?
Well, the things that work for me today, yeah, are a lot of the Australian brands, for example, because they've got the brilliant daylight and it all looks like very casual. I think the whole formal kind of wedding seems to have taken a bit of a sideline, obviously, because people can't do that, although they will be able to do it shortly. Yeah. Thank heavens for Gwen Stefani and Ariana Grande getting married. That's really boosted everybody's. I think people like to see a celebrity doing it. Yeah. And no matter how many times. I mean, Kim Kardashian, let's hope she gets divorced and married again because the Instagram will take off. Yeah. I do think they love a celeb in a wedding dress. And also the brilliant thing about both of those dresses, which were by Vera Wang, which is quite clever. Now she's signed with Pronovius. I think they must be jumping for joy too. Yeah, sure. Both of those dresses are attainable. Both of those looks are quite attainable, with like a big tulle skirt and a long veil. It's kind of out there for real brides, so that I think they can identify with that. And I think that's what's important. You've got to grab something that brides-to-be can identify with. So if it's too far out there, that's not the people that seem to follow us. I also don't like poking fun at weddings either too much. Yeah. I don't mind the odd Instagram with a girl eating a pizza or a McDonald's, but I don't like this kind of bringing down weddings.
No, it's not a place for bringing in negative.
No, I don't think so at all.
Yeah.
And I think one thing we have learned is that we are all going to have to unite a lot more
Yeah.
than we did in the past. I think, again, we were a bit fragmented in the past, and now I think we definitely need to unite as an industry.
Yeah.
We've managed to do it a little bit. Let's hope this carries on.
Yeah, it's interesting. Ariana Grande and Gwen Stefani, they're both kind of different ages.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, you know, different girls are at different ages, are getting married all the time. So it's nice, isn't it, to have different role models of different ages and different styles.
Equally, they wore very similar dresses,
Yeah.
which also proves that if you've got enough, you know, to wear one, you can get away with it. There shouldn't be a barrier on age on wedding dresses. If you feel great in something, brilliant. But you shouldn't be talked into it either. If you don't feel it, don't wear it. And I think one of the things that's done really well is on Instagram for us is the Reem Aradaki. It's like a jumpsuit with a lace overskirt. That seems to have hit just the right tone. Now, I wouldn't have said that was an easy to wear outfit. However, the response I've got, and she's doing it again, so obviously it sold well too. So that's quite interesting. I think there's a lot more jumpsuity trouser suits around because we're having to have civil weddings a lot more.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of shorter tea-length dresses around, but not necessarily in a sort of retro 50s way. I think they can be worn in a much more modern environment. I think also people are spending just because they're not having the big do, they are still spending, and they will spend on the right thing. I think they may spend a lot on shoes or their dress, maybe not so much on a big venue, maybe a smaller venue, but quality products at that venue. So great food. And then maybe they spend on their honeymoon. I think one thing COVID and the lockdown has taught us all is what's important. So family and friends, but close family and friends.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm sure you'll still have the massive, big Asian and Greek weddings because that's more of a cultural thing.
Sure.
But until the lockdown, I think we were following the American model a little too much with the kind of, you know, wed fest that went on for 3 or 4 days, and you had to pre-dinner, dinner, and it just went on too much. I think now we've honed it down a lot.
Well, we've kind of got used to them, haven't we? Being a bit smaller after 18 months, and
but they grow and grow and grow. I mean, I got married 27 lifetimes ago, but and there it was quite common, you know, you sort of went to a registry office and then you went to a reception in the church hall or the local hall.
Yeah.
And I think there's a kind of hipster way of that repeating itself now, where you go to community centre or the local pub. But I don't mean you're sitting down with a packet of crisps and a beer, but that's fine if you want to. But I think there's a lot more of that instant weddings. People want to get married, they've delayed. So I can see it would be a really positive thing in the next couple of years. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more weddings with people playing catch up.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit as well about Instagram and when people post, times that people post, things maybe that are liked or they're not liked, and things maybe that you would hope would have done better than they don't, and how you kind of gauge a reaction with because I know it doesn't always compute with people likes and what they're actually looking at.
No, it doesn't. If I had a crystal ball, that could be useful. I've tried posting at various times of the day, you know, early in the morning when people were commuting. Well, that hasn't been working recently because people aren't commuting. So that kind of went out. It's interesting to see when you post something, when it pops up on your own personal Instagram. It doesn't necessarily correlate with when you've posted. It doesn't pop up straight away. So obviously it wanders off in the ether somewhere for a while.
Yeah, you assume it's instant, don't you? As soon as you posted it, you think that's when people will be seeing it.
I think it does in some respects, but not always. I do think you can get the 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I wouldn't bother to post when there's a major event on, like Euro
Yeah.
Cup or something of great, because people are watching something else, so you don't kind of necessarily gain anything there. 8 o'clock at night-ish, that's often quite good. People have done their dinner and they're sitting down. Midday lunchtimes, that's good.
Yeah.
But it really depends. A picture that worked one week hasn't necessarily worked another week. Real brides do work, excuse me, but that is, as I said, showing the past. We need to drive people into shops. So on his, we are there to service the retailers as well as our I want to say viewers. I'm never quite sure what you call
The
it.
brides to be, or yeah.
So it is important that you can catch them with something, but also I'm sure they should pick up on your aesthetic as a shop. So if you only sell big ball gowns, then just put them up. I mean, you need to show your talent off, and ours is that we want to show everything for most people, but we're sort of coming at it as a magazine, even though we're not a magazine anymore. I have to approach Instagram in a way that I want to show you bridesmaids, I want to show you wedding dresses, I want to show you shoes and jewelry and underwear. So it is a kind of curated approach. It's not slapdash, and I think it may look it, but it's not. I think that's the nature is, in order to get people to follow you, you have to have your own aesthetic. And I hope that ours is coming through. If I said to you, I just think slip dresses are the best thing ever, then I wouldn't have many followers, because not so many people can wear slip dresses. So I want to be, I want to be all things to most people, but I can't be all things to everybody. I've been helping a couple of people out, or working with a couple of people, and it's been very interesting. They've started to do more separates because of brides to be wanting to create their own dress. So in a way, but that's not possible. So, but it's nice that they feel by adding a top or adding a unique sash that they are creating their unique look. It's not a new premise, this, you know, the adding bits, but it seems to be more popular, and I think it allows retailers to carry one person's collection, but in so much more depth, because you can add and take away all of, you know, components to give two brides that can come in totally different looks, but with the same, you know, this kind of thing.
I guess it gives them a feeling of a bespoke outfit and an individual look that's not necessarily what they've seen on the picture on Instagram that the designer's released. Yeah,
exactly. And it also enabled them to create their own thing. And I think there's a, you know, everybody wants to be a designer now, along with everybody has the capability of being a photographer, a makeup artist, and everything. From Instagram, you know, you can do anything you want, but the reality is we do have to be grounded. I'm never sure how much people read on Instagram. I'm not putting anybody down, but I don't think they go there for huge amounts of copy. I think they go there to look at that and go, I want that, I'd like that, this is a good idea. It's all about inspiration, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think you've covered a lot of ground there, Peter. And yeah, well, it was good. It was kind of, you know, an overview of Instagram and the work you've been doing and how it can sort of help people, you know, curate their own Instagram accounts and give them some tips and pointers from, you know, somebody who does it professionally.
Oh, that sounds.
Yeah.
I do it. The area that I think is coming, which will be very interesting, is augmentation, reality. You know, when you put yourself in the picture, in the mirror, and a lot of people are are working on that, so I'll be able to click on soon and see myself in a dress and go, oh, that's good.
Amazing.
I think that's an interesting, that's the
Mm.
maybe in the next 5 or so years we'll all be just looking at pictures and, you know,
Putting ourselves in those clothes. Yeah.
Scary.
Okay, on that note then, Peter, thank you very much for joining us.
You're
And
welcome.
we'll catch up with you soon. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Bye then. Bye.